Hello, fellow traders. Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Thursday, April the 3rd. The year's 2025. Let's talk trading. Trading news with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and different from Walmal's. And when you're trading, and especially when you're trading news, always have your risk management in place so you never lose more than you're willing to lose on a single trade or a single session. So, Walmall, we had some big news yesterday, and I guess some more red news today.
Yeah, we have, and lots of stuff going on. In the world economies, and it's certainly showing up in the financial market. That's for sure. I mean, you were mentioning to me before, some of the ranges on some of these, forex instruments are just absolutely nuts. The only one I care about, obviously, is the pound dollar. It's sitting here, in a range of 234 pip range. And then yesterday, when I stopped trading yesterday, the range was like 50, and then it closed the day with 125. It's just crazy, crazy how much the market moved. Lots of opportunity out there.
That's for sure. Lots of opportunities.
Um, so just so being transparent, I had gone um, long yesterday after the swap, settlement. Because Wednesday, for people who may or may not know, Wednesday is when all of the ISPs, I got ISPs on my brain right now, when all of the brokers out there go and settle the swap, and they do it in the middle of the week. I don't know. There is a reason for doing it on Wednesdays. There's a historical reason. I don't recall what it is. They settle swap on that particular day, and I know that swap is used. A lot of brokers is actually twice as much on a Wednesday than it is on any other day. But in any case, I didn't want to take any trades before that happened, so I waited to take a trade after it. And the second reason I didn't want to go into trade prior to it is because when I was looking at, at the at what the spread was, the spreads were just absolutely astronomical. I'm sitting on an ECN and I was seeing, spreads 15 to 20 pips. It's like, no, there's no way to trade this. This is nuts. But once the swap settlement was over, probably within maybe half hour or so after that, what happened was that spreads went down to about 4 pips, 5 pips, something along those lines, and I went into the trade and I went long, and I greatly benefited from it. Let's just put it that way. I greatly benefited, and but and I think we were joking around, prior to the video. We were saying, what we can talk about, and you or I don't remember who suggested that, we go and just talk about having your having your trades in place, having your stops in place, and having your ETPs in place. And, what I did was I had a TP. I didn't put a TP out there. I just put a stop out there. I was willing to lose, X dollars on the trade, and I just let it run, and I got up to this morning having been greatly rewarded and very happy for it, and got out. But that's sometimes that's the best trade you can get, right?
Yeah, in fact, Walmall had said that traders, he was saying something about he wish he had uh what was said gone to bed early or and then gotten up early to trade through the news. And I said, no, you probably made more pips doing it the way you did it. And you said you I was right
Yeah,
because
yeah. The other thing,
yeah,
go,
sometimes
go,
the least effort is the biggest reward.
yeah, I don't remember who said this, but there was somebody famous one time said the least effort is sometimes the best effort. There was some philosopher guy went and said that, and I'm not quoting him directly, but if you took his quote, paraphrased it, that's what he meant to say.
Well, it's like,
you know,
Occam's razor. The simplest solution is usually the best solution. So,
yeah, exactly. And that's it's funny because you're bringing this up, and it's a little bit off topic, but I think it's really not, and that is that if somebody was to ask me what is the core idea of your trading, okay, and I know you've asked me that question in different ways, but the core of my trading is basically what? Keep it simple, stupid. You know, and that's,
well, your
it's
core is
simply
is not to lose too much.
exactly. Well, but yeah, but at the same time, if we go and let's say look at the next, man, look at price move now. But in any case, if you were to look at okay, what's the core of your methodology? Okay, let's go and look at it that way. Not the core of your trading, the core of your methodology. Well, why do you go into a trade? How do you get out of the trade? And if you would ask me that question, I think the answer is keep it simple. Keep it as simple as possible. And and the reason why is I think you know we can only grasp so many things at the same time. As incredibly intricate and as incredibly you know uh, astounding as your brain is, there's still a finite number of things that you can trace and track at the same time. And sure, that's where indicators can come in, and help you out a little bit. We talked about that last week a little bit. The purpose of an indicator is just to go and try to go and simplify things so that you can see what price is doing, and you don't have to do all those calculations in your brain. You don't have to rely on, anything else other than the fact that it punches it up on the screen for you. And sure, that's true. But even that, there's just a certain amount of things that you can go and control. So what I like to do is, keep it as simple as possible. I sent you that new chart in the chart I've been trading off it since probably about I've been trading off that chart since probably June or July of last year. And as you saw, TRO, as you saw it, you know, and some of the traders, they can go back and look at some of the previous videos and see that chart. There's nothing on it. It's basically a blank chart with one or two little indicators on it. That's it. There's not just the joke that went around for all those years. Chart on drugs, right?
Right.
With 45,000 indicators on it, and then somehow you see through all that mess and you make that magical trade that makes you a millionaire.
Right.
I don't think that works. It certainly never worked for me.
Yeah, because I added something to your chart here, and I can turn these indicators off. I remember I put the ATR on there,
Okay.
and then I added the actually that one doesn't have to turn off the candle color multimeter, but no, this is basically Walmal's chart right here with the without the multimeter.
Yeah, and it's funny because and it comes down to a lot of times to this whole idea of preference too. I mean, you love multimeters. You like the idea of looking up in the corner and seeing a sea of red or a sea of green or a mixed sea. You make decisions based on that, and I love the idea of that. But what I found was I never looked at it. I just don't. For whatever reason, my brain doesn't remember to go and look at that, look at that multimeter. And probably if I was to look at that multimeter, it would prevent me from getting into some messes that I find myself going into from time to time. But I just don't. So at that point, they say, if they're not going to look at it, why have it on the chart? It's all it's doing is taking up real estate on the screen. If I don't have it there, and if I'm not using it, and I don't have it there, that means I can go and put more candlesticks on the chart, And I do look at the candlesticks. So why not have more candlesticks? So, and, that's it. That's my way of thinking. Somebody else will come along and say, "You're out of your thinking mind."
Hmm.
It's so much easier just to go and have a little multimeter sitting up there and saying, you can go and say, "Look at this. We've had 15 green candles in a row. This has got to go red, or real soon from now, it's got to go red." Well, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. But the reality is, if I never look up there, why why bother having it up there? It's sort of like these new cars that are coming out. I'm gonna sound like an old man here, but
You
these new
are an
cars
old
come out.
man.
That's true. But they sit out there and they got 45,000 different types of technology sitting out there. And I get into a car like that. I went and did a test drive of a car like a week or so ago, and it's sort of like, great, you got all this technology, and the salesperson's trying to sell me on all this technology, and I'm thinking, it's like, I've never used that. Why am I paying for something I've never used? Well, trading can, I think you can go and look at it that way as well.
Well, the thing, yeah, and we've probably mentioned this before about the indicators is that traders want something where the indicator will tell them what to do, and then at the end of the year, they're driving a Lambo, um, as opposed to learning how to trade.
Right, you're exactly right, and that's the thing that you know, as traders, we all got to learn this. The indicator doesn't make you money. The indicator is the tool that helps you make money. But the reality, you still need to know how to trade. You still need to know how to manage your risk. You still need to know, how to control your emotion. You still need to know how to go and control the gray matter between your ears. And if you can't go and do those things, then the indicator is not going to make you money. It's just not. At least that's been my experience. Somebody else has got an experience. Well, more power to you. Congratulations. I'm glad that you're making money that way. But me personally, I just, it's never worked out. And I can't tell you guys how many different systems in the beginning that I went and bought into. Send in my 99.95, because this thing was going to make me wealthy in a month or 2 months or a year, and guaranteed that I was going to go and double my account size in a month. I can't tell you how many of them I fell victim to. That's no other way to put it, but fell victim to. Probably when you add it all up, thousands of dollars. And you know what? None of them. I got them sitting. I'm rearranging my office right now, and it was funny because I was looking at some of these things. It's like, and I'm looking at it and said, I paid that much for that. I paid that much for that. I paid that much. And then I got a trash can sitting in here, and every time I saw one of them, I just went throw them out because that's about what they were, trash. All they are. And you got to go and learn how to trade. You got to put into work. I know that's an unpopular thing to say, an unpopular thing to hear, but it's also the truthful thing.
Well,
Get over it.
yeah, and I guess on the one hand, I kind of equate it to swimming in the sense that you can read all the books and watch all the videos, but until you get wet, you're not going to learn how to swim. And just for
Exactly.
just to be transparent, I can't swim because I have low lung capacity and I don't have much buoyancy, so I sink like a rock. If you threw me in a pool in the deep end and you only throw me one life preserver, I'm going to die because I need two to keep me afloat. And the other thing I equate it to baking biscuits. You can follow the recipe, and if you do it just right, follow the recipe, then every time you bake biscuits, they're going to be okay. But trading's not like that. You've got these systems or recipes, but you know what? As I always say, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.